Hello there, and welcome to another episode of our Final Fantasy XVI Let's Play. My name is SlytherinKnight, and I am so happy you could join me. So today's episode will be another, side quests, Notorious marks, but it'll mainly just be side quests. These three in particular. Should be quick, shouldn't take too terribly long. I will admit that is the only thing we'll be doing today, so if that's not your boat, I apologize. Tomorrow will be a continuation of the main story. So, yeah. I really just want to get these done, just because they're here. Why not? Completing them should get us up to another reward with the patrons, whispering patron, whatever matron, where we get rewards for renown. We should get up to another one, and honestly, it just keeps it from there being a flood of them later on. And I genuinely enjoy the side quests in this game, so that's what we're doing. We're gonna start. Are you done? Okay. We're gonna start with this one and make our way.
Sid, perhaps
to
you
the
can
other
help
ones.
me solve a mystery.
I can certainly try. Who's gone missing this time?
It's not who, but what. Mid-scales, the ones she made for her workshop. I borrowed them to teach the little ones about weight, and shortly after the lesson, they vanished. My first thought was that they'd taken them off somewhere to play, but when I asked, they swore they had nothing to do with their having disappeared. Which almost certainly means they had everything to do with it.
Naturally, they're children. On balance, all right. Let's help.
Perhaps a visit from Sid will jog their memories.
I think it just might. Thank you. I don't like to imagine that my pupils would lie to me. But if they have, I'll have no choice but to discipline them accordingly. They were in the atrium when I last saw them. As always.
All right, let's see. Let's see if what these troublemakers have wrought.
Seems the hideaways.
Did you see the pair that got pulled into time?
This is not the right way. Excuse me. just going straight towards it, forgetting the fact that that's not an exit. Forgive me. All right. So they're up there? Gotcha. Alright, kids. Where is the scale?
What do you reckon we should do? I say we should...
Oh, it's broken. I see.
Sid! Hard at your studies, I see. And what is that? It's not a set of scales, is it?
No. Of course it isn't.
Well, not anymore, it's not. Oh,
And just how long hasn't it been one?
we're sorry.
But we didn't break them. We dismembered them.
Just like Miss Mididol showed us.
Miss Mididol? And why would she have you dismembering her creations?
Because that's the only way to become a ninja-neer.
Miss Mididol said, the best way to see how something works is to take it apart and put it back together again.
Oh, jeez.
Well then, your work is already half done. Carry on.
About that.
The taking apart was easy enough, but it's the putting back we can't work out.
Speak for yourself. The heavy thing goes at the bottom. Then...
You three need to learn to take responsibility for your actions. So let's have a look at these parts with fresh eyes, shall we?
I mean, I've taken apart and put together a set of scales like this before, so kind of might be a little different, but
All right. Everything here was once part of Miss Midadol's scales. Every piece has its own role to play, and each is just as important as the others. If even one of them is missing, the scales won't work. So let's think about what those roles might be. You already know one of the pieces. The body. Its role is to support everything else. But what of the others?
well, let's see. You have the arm, the pans, and the gear. I mean, I'm not going to go over this, but let's just go down the
This is
list.
called the arm. Why do you suppose that is? It doesn't look much like an arm.
You're right. It looks more like a wing. Like a chocobo wing.
You've ridden a chocobo before, haven't you, Sid? Will you teach me to ride one day?
I'll think about it. Now, what do arms do?
Hold things. So wait, maybe this arm holds things too?
Good thinking. You're on the right track.
All right, to the pans.
These round parts are called the pans. You all know what a pan is, don't you?
I do. Molly uses them in the kitchens to fry bangers. These aren't
Sausages.
for frying bangers, you idiot. They're for weighing stuff. But what if I wanted to weigh Goots? I don't think he'd fit on that little thing.
Probably not.
What are the chains for? Holding the pans up?
Well spotted. Which means something must hold the chains up in turn.
Which would be the arm, obviously.
This tiny piece is what's called a cogwheel, or gear. Have you ever seen one before?
I have. Miss Midadol's dungeon is full of them. Most are on the floor.
She puts them in all her inventions. They spin round and round and round and round and...
That's right. They're very useful when you want to make things move. Do you remember if there was anything on the scales that moved?
I remember the arm moved when I tried weighing an apple. And then somebody ate it.
It's not my fault. You should have tried weighing it before lunch.
You know what part's supposed to move and how it's supposed to move. So, let's put the pieces together first, see what doesn't move, and then stick the cogwheel to that.
Not a bad idea. You see? It's not so difficult. So, now that we've taken stock of the parts and learned what they do, what do you think?
I think we've got it.
Then here's what we'll do. You tell me what goes where, and I'll put the scales together.
Oh, jeez.
Well, obviously you need to start with the body. All the other pieces fit onto it, don't they?
And the arms go on the body, just like real arms. Or wings, if you're a chocobo. And then the arms hold the pans by the chains.
Very good. Let's see if that works. There. All finished.
Yes! We did it!
Well, with Sid's help.
Oh, I just put the pieces together. It was you three engineers who showed me how.
That's right. We're Miss Midadol's hairs.
Oh, God.
Her hairs.
Yeah, hairs for the future. She's showing us her secrets now, so we can help out the hideaway when we're older.
What do you think, Sid? Are we almost ready?
With a little more help from Miss Midadol and Miss Shirley, I'd say it won't be long at all.
You hear that? It won't be long.
Until then, though, do try to be honest with Miss Shirley.
What about the gear? It's still on the table.
Hey, look!
There we go.
We never used the cogwheel.
You don't think Sid forgot about it, do you?
I mean, he's probably going to, I would assume he's going to use that as a teaching moment because, I mean, the cogwheel has to go onto the arm to allow the arm to move. So I'm curious to see what that's about. Because no, Clive wouldn't just leave that for any random reason. You know, he wouldn't forget about it.
Will we ever see the sun again?
Is a storm coming, Sid? Will there be thunder?
Well, did you solve the mystery?
It was as you thought. The children had the scales, or the parts of them at least. They dismantled them to see how they worked.
Oh, no, Mid will have my head.
Thankfully she won't. This might even have been her idea. Although I was the one who ended up teaching the lesson.
I'm so sorry, Sid. I know how busy you are. I shall see that the children are properly punished.
Please, there's no need. Mid seems to have taken the three of them under her wing. She's even calling them her heirs. She'd have them follow in her footsteps. And her father's.
I see. Sid, do you know why Mid has been spending so much time at the hideaway of late?
She told me it was because her studies have been interrupted by events in Canva. Is that not true?
No, it isn't. The university offered her a commission. In exchange for full tuition, room and board, they asked her to oversee the design of several new war engines. To anyone else it would be an opportunity, but to Mid, who lost both her parents to war, it was a bitter pill. One she was none too keen to swallow. But that should come as no surprise. She's only ever cared about bringing people hope. The very last thing war can be said to do.
Which explains her heirs. She's working to give them a better life. And so should I. What's the odd engineering lesson?
Oh, you've given them far more than that. And I'm sure they're very grateful.
I'm guessing there'll be a continuation of this at some point. Because, you know, the missing cogwheel is kind of a loose end there, isn't it? Interesting. But that is one down, two more to go. But you never know, once we finish these, more might pop up. We'll just have to wait and see.
It seems the hideaway's lost its appetite.
Let's see.
Blasted book.
With the skies as
Blasted? Oh. Okay, I remember earlier on there was a quest we did that had to do with, like, weird food. So maybe this is what it is?
Here, you put me in this situation, Clive. You can bloody well get me out of it. I need a hand with a recipe.
Are you sure it's me you're looking for? I'm not much of a cook.
I'm all the cook will be needing, thank you very much. What I want from you is a little of your time, right? Oh, and perhaps your sword. You remember Ivan's stew, right? Well, despite the look of the thing, and that awful stench, people wolf it down. So I thought I'd try making one of these supposed masterpieces myself. Had a peek at the book and gave it a go, but, well...
It wasn't as straightforward as you'd hoped. Ivan had the same problem.
Yeah, but this is my blooming kitchen, and I will not be outdone. So if you don't want to be seen as playing favourites, I suggest you lend me a hand.
Well then. Of course.
I've never been one to play favorites, Molly. And I would be only too happy to lend you a hand. So, what's on the menu this time?
A fried mortress of skyworm. That's one heck of a name, innit? Recipe seemed easy enough to an old hand like myself. Thought I'd followed it to a T. Only, turns out skyworm livers and drake's mint are not what I thought they were. At least I hope they're not, given the rancid mess they made.
Ivan said the recipes in the culinary pilgrimage date back centuries. Who's to say the ingredients even exist anymore?
Well, that's a question for a scholar, wouldn't you say? Perhaps you know of one? Kindly old fella who haunts the shelves, maybe?
Fine. I'll go and speak to Harpocrates. Perhaps he'll know something. And if he does, I'll see if I can find your ingredients for you.
You do that. Lest we forget, you've got a reputation to uphold.
bit passive-aggressive, but okay. I don't know why I find that funny, I just do. She's like, help me or you're playing favorites.
There's a storm coming, Sid.
Alright, Hippocrates, what you got for us?
Lawsman Harpocrates. I've come to pick your brain if you don't mind. It's about the book you lent Ivan.
Valisthea, A Culinary Pilgrimage, a classic. One of my favorites, in fact. The young man did a wonderful job with the Chance's stew. I do hope we shall be able to sample more such marvels in due course.
That's actually why I'm here. I don't suppose you know where I might find skyworm livers and drake's mint.
So the fabled Sandbrequois delicacy is next on the menu. Delightful. The descriptions of fried mortress never fail to make my mouth water. Now, skyworm is a somewhat antiquated name for the wyvern, their ground livers being the paste from which the mortress is made.
Dragon livers. How very Sandbrequois.
One would have thought the disciples of Bahamut would have a touch more reverence for their icon's brethren, but apparently not. I believe the specific dragon the recipe demands is the blueback wyvern, said to be the very color of the sea beside which it resides.
Okay.
So we know where to look for our liver. But what about the drake's mint?
Saint's bonnet in contemporary parlance, a herb which grows along the North Reach coast. I gather that one can locate the cheerful yellow flowers by their heady scent alone, so I'm sure you'll have no trouble finding them. I may add that people once believed game was best served with the flora that sustained it in life, in which regard fried mortress of skyworm is undoubtedly a typical dish of the time.
Okay.
Meaning that if I find one, I find the other. To Northreach, then.
Best of luck, Clive. And do save me a bite once the dish is complete.
Okay. So dragon liver. Cool. Okay, let's go to Northreach. Let's see. Because, yeah, they want us out in this area. This is probably where the dragon is, or the wyvern is, and the other stuff is there. Cool. So we do get to see some combat today. I was a little worried about that. Because stuff in the hideaway isn't always combat related. A lot of it's very dialogue heavy and stuff like that, which is fine. But I want to see some combat. I'm sure you guys do too.
You needn't fret. The creatures.
So let's see what we can get up to. Am I going the right way? It's always hard to tell sometimes. But yes, we are. Sorry about that. I was checking to make sure we had our people behind us. Let's see. Well, there is our wyvern right out there. Let's take on some worgen first. Easy enough. Alright, now for the wyvern.
Hippocrates said I should be able to find what I'm looking for somewhere nearby. Bright blue dragons and bright yellow flowers. Should be easy enough to spot.
Wyvern. Hello, friend.
This must be our wyvern. Alright, let's get this over with.
was kind of waiting to see if they would take out the enemy or not, but I'm willing to take it down too. Raptor liver, dragon talon.
That's the wyvern's liver. Now I just need to find the herbs. Bright yellow with a heady scent.
At what point did I take damage? I didn't notice that. Yeah. I didn't notice myself taking damage, but I guess I did. And that's that.
I think that's everything Molly needs to resurrect her recipe. Better head back.
Easy enough. I do want to see what this item is real quick, just out of pure curiosity. It's probably a standard material, yeah, normal material or something. Let's see. Oh, it's 5 gil. Not worth it. But that is that. Back to the hideaway we go. Most likely, hopefully to finish this one up, and then we'll take on our last quest. Oh, there's a missive? That doesn't terrify me. What I mean by that is like another quest, maybe? We'll check that out before we end the episode, just to make sure that there's no hidden, like no new, like, hey, here's a new
Seems
thing.
the hideaway's lost its appetite.
So, did you have that word with Tomes then?
I did, and he was as helpful as ever. He told me exactly where to look, in fact.
We have our Saint's bonnet. Foul smelling, that's funny. And our raptor liver.
And what precisely will I be cooking up? Or is it better not to know?
Blueback wyvern liver. And, a herb known as Saint's bonnet.
Ah, wyvern livers, was it? Well, at least it weren't actual worms, I suppose. Now then, you stay right where you are. I've got some cooking to do. Let's hope these grand old chefs of yore knew what they were on about.
According to Tomes, they were. Ooh, that doesn't look bad.
And here we have it. Fried mortress of skyworm. Ivan's offered to make sure it's fit for consumption. Well, I say offered. He as good as begged.
And rightly so. Is there any higher honor than partaking in a slice of culinary history?
So, not fit for consumption then?
What witchery is this? The crackle of the crust gives way to an almost violent richness. Yet, it is the piquant kiss of the saint's bonnet that tames this savage dish. It is a tour de force. A force of nature, even. A maelstrom of flavor and sensation. A graceful beast emerging from centuries of slumber.
I think he likes it.
Well, I can't quite tell with all that nonsense he's talking. But I reckon you might be right. It was decent then, I take it.
Decent? It's remarkable. And I defy any man to say a word to the contrary. Sid, might I suggest that you command a party of your finest men and women to procure a dozen blueback wyverns forthwith?
I'll give it some thought.
Jeez. I mean, we'll take everything we can get, but his flowery language is a bit much, I think, but to each their own. All right. As of right now, this should be our last one. Oh, it's from Goots. Okay. What you got, Goots?
What am I gonna do?
Is everything all right, Goots? You seem more discomposed than usual.
Oh, I don't know what that means, but I'm in a bit of a muddle. Oh, I think Nan might be in trouble and she's...
It's all right. You can tell me.
There was a trader came by. One of our usuals, like. Said he'd heard some rotten rumours about her down Dallimil Way. Folk are saying she's been selling to bandits and cutthroats and that. I mean, she's fond of a chance to make a coin or two, aye, but she'd never do business with baddies. Especially not the kind who go hurting people who haven't done out. I wanted to ask her about it myself, but I'm scared she'll give us a tongue lashing. She'd never give your tongue a lashing, though, would she?
I wouldn't put it past her, but we'll see.
Don't worry. I'll speak to her.
Oh, thanks, Clive. You'll let me know what she says, won't you?
Of course. I'm sure it's all just a misunderstanding.
This might be a longer quest. We get 35 renown for it. That typically means it's going to be a little bit more to it, I think.
Lady Karen. How's business?
Not nearly as foul as the weather.
You're doing good trade then? Both in and out of the hideaway?
Can't complain. Wait. What exactly are you getting at? Not once in 5 long years do you pay my affairs half a care. But here you are today, raking me over the coals like a bloody popoto.
Just asking. Out of interest. All right. I'm here because I was told that certain rumors have been circulating. About you selling weapons to brigands.
Oh, are you? And who was it who knows me so well as to tell tales of my evil exploits?
I didn't exactly hear firsthand. All I know is that someone in Dallimil has been spreading word to that effect.
And what? You believe it? You think I'm profiting off the blood of innocents, do you? Look, I've done things I'm not proud of. Might be there were a time when I turned a blind eye to the wretchedness of the world so I could line my pocket. But that woman is no more. And you'd know that if you'd ever paid the slightest bit of notice.
You're right, Lady Karen. I apologize. It was wrong of me to doubt you.
Aye, it was. Now, I reckon you've got better things to do than pointing your do-gooding finger at a poor old woman.
Of course. Good day.
I don't know. She sounded defensive to me. That sounded... I'm not so sure about that. I mean, I'm sure she's not, but still, it's like that. She went real defensive real fast. Which is natural, but still.
I spoke with Lady Karen.
What did she say?
That the rumors were unfounded, and that I was a fool for thinking they might hold any truth, along with some other things that made her feelings clear. And while it sounds like she may have done things she regretted in her past, she says those days are behind her.
Oh, well, that's good. I knew Nan wasn't caught up in out bad. But why would people say she was? What did she ever do to them? It's not right.
No, it's not. But people do things for all sorts of reasons. Perhaps we'll never know.
Well, I'm going to find out. That trader, he said they were all talking about her in Dallimil. So that's where I'm going. I'll find someone who'll tell me, you'll see.
Are you sure that's wise? Whoever's spreading these rumors means Karen ill.
Oh, right. But That's why you'll be coming with me, isn't it, Clive?
Oh, jeez.
I suppose it is.
Yep. Kind of figured. I mean, it's naturally, it has to be like a rival merchant or something to that effect. I mean, that's all I can think of. That would make the most sense. I mean, that's common practice. It's called, what, mudslinging? I think it's what they call it.
The bandits may be no more, but look what they've left us with.
Maybe this place is still trashed.
It shouldn't be too hard to find goods.
The gentleman of the town guard.
Could be I know something more. What's it worth?
How about a not
Clive,
busted up
listen.
lip?
I found someone who says he's heard the rumours about Nan.
Have you?
Go on. Tell him what you told me.
All right. It's like I said. A wizened old crone by the name of Karen's been selling steel to whoever will pay her price, be they knight or knave. Says the more swords and spears she puts in people's hands, the more war they'll wage. And the more war being waged, the more call for swords and spears. And who will they all turn to keep them in steel? Why, the good Reaper herself.
And you've seen this Reaper at work?
Aye, it just so happens I have. You'll find her right here plying her trade most days.
Here in Dalimil? Where exactly?
She has a stall here in the market, but if you're not the patient type, you can probably find her at her storehouse on the edge of town. But it'd be a bolder man than me that braved that particular nest of vipers. Feeling bold, traveler? I hope so, for your sake. Now, if that's all, I have places to be.
Sorry to have kept you.
So, someone impersonating Karen? That's what it seems like.
You don't think Nan's the Reaper, do you?
Not unless she's discovered the secret of how to be in two places at once.
Eh? What do you mean?
Lady Karen hasn't left the hideaway in weeks. So who has been running this stall he spoke of?
Good question. I'll go and have a look.
And I'll visit this storehouse on the edge of town.
All right, but be careful, Clive.
You too, Goots.
Yeah, that's about right. Someone using her name. Oh, it's all... I have to go back. I have to go all the way back.
The gentleman of the town guard. What a mess.
You fought very bravely.
The safety of the town is...
Alright, let us see. Naturally, this is going to be a fight, but has to be.
Time to brave the Viper's Nest.
Just you, is it?
Yeah, I figured.
Thought I might have laid it on a bit thick.
It was a fairly unconvincing tale. So, what now?
That's up to you. Die a slow death, or a quick one. Boys, he's all yours. But that sword is mine.
That was obvious.
Do it now, and we can pretend this didn't happen.
this one. Easy enough.
Oh, you've done it now.
Go on. Tell me what I've done.
When the Borgwyn finds out you've killed his men, he'll have your head. He only wanted that bull of a manservant, the dim one always clinging to Karen's skirts. You weren't even supposed to be here. Who the hell are you anyway?
What were you going to do to him?
The Borgwyn wanted him to get to Karen. I was only supposed to point the lamp in the right direction once he arrived in Dalamil. But then you turned up. Well, go on then. If you're going to end me, end me.
You're not worth the effort. Now be gone, before I change my mind.
Fucking coward!
Talking about yourself?
I need to find Goots. Right now.
Get your filthy paws off me, you naughty-pated lout!
Stop calling me names! And stop spreading them horrible lies about Nan!
Well, that will be easy enough. For they are not lies. Every last word is true. And she must pay for her crimes in blood.
Blood?
Goose, are you all right?
He's gonna kill Nan! He said she had to pay in blood!
After what she did, it is only right. She ruined my life and the lives of countless others. That loathsome harpy's very existence is a crime, and I will not allow it to continue. Goots, was it? I have no quarrel with you. Only with your employer. Run along now. You need not pay for her sins.
No.
No?
I don't care what she did. I won't let you hurt Nan. Promise me you won't hurt her, or I'll kill you myself!
Goots, no.
Enough, all of you!
Yeah, I figured.
But how did you?
You're a sight less clever than you think you are, the pair of you. Did you think I wouldn't notice the two of you slinking off together? Well, the whole thing got me thinking, who in Dalamil might bear me a grudge? And a certain snivelling shit I ran afoul of in my fairy years came to mind. Though it was just Bogan back then, wasn't it? I thought the years might have taught you some sense, but I see you're the same pants-pissing craven you've always been. What was it we called you? Wet legs?
You bitch! Everything that happened, it was all your fault! And now you'll finally pay for what you did to me!
Jeez.
Goots, you...
If you want a piece of Nan, you'll have to go through me.
Fuck!
You great galoot. Out of the way, I can handle this myself. So, wet legs. You remember what you told me when we last met? An eye for an eye. Wise words, that. Wise words. And now it's time to collect.
Jeez. Okay. I'm guessing he has to do with why one of her eyes is blue.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Is he...
Dead? No. But I reckon he wishes he was. It's not easy going through life one eye short of a pair. After all, I should know.
You don't mean...
Oh, don't tell me you didn't notice. Lost it to old Wet Legs back when we were working the same routes. Said I'd stolen from his strongbox. I'd done nothing of the sort, mind. But that didn't stop him taking his little revenge. So I took some of my own. Sorry, lost everything. His coin, his clients. Always knew he'd be back one day to claim his due. But he crossed a line dragging poor Goots into this. He didn't hurt you, did he?
No, Nan. Still got all my arms, see? Legs too. But what if he comes back again?
What if he does? First we take the other eye, then we work our way down.
Jeez.
He'll learn his lesson soon enough. But something tells me that Wet Legs has learned it already. Right. Let's get you back to the hideaway. You've attracted quite enough attention already. Ta-ra, Clive.
Remind me never to cross you, Karen.
Right? She's a scary one, isn't she? Alright, back to the hideaway we go. I'm really glad that we went in the order we did, because, you know, finish off with the more story-heavy one. I'm glad that it turned out like that. That was completely random. I had no idea what these quests would do, you know. So I'm glad it worked out like that.
Nothing like a dish of cold vengeance to foul the gut.
I'm sorry, Nan. I didn't mean to make things worse. I just thought I had to protect you. Like you've protected me.
Aye, well, someone had to. Your parents certainly didn't give a whit for your well-being. Reckon the both of us would be worse off if I'd not taken you on. You've always been me right eye, Goots. And I'd have you stay that way. So don't you dare go looking for trouble again.
Well, I will. If you ever need help, I'll do it again and again, and you can't stop me.
Why, you big lump. Fine. Play the hero if it makes you happy.
Thanks, Nan. I won't let you down.
There's nothing he wouldn't do for you.
That's as maybe. But if he's ever to make his own way in life, he'll need to start looking out for himself as well. Till then, he'll need people to watch his back, just like you did in Dalamil. Don't think I didn't appreciate that.
Of course. His family.
Stop it. You make me one good eye, mister. I don't go thinking that'll do you any favours. A potion today'll cost you the same as it did yesterday.
Wouldn't think it, wouldn't have it any other way. Close to a level up. What is this? Ah, a trophy. Very cool. Nice. Alright, well, I do think that should do it. We are going to go check the, we're going to go check our missives just to make sure nothing new popped up. I don't think so. It would usually have a little mark saying, hey, there's something new here. But, yeah, I didn't think so. About the other day. Oh, it's from Otto. Oh, for the payback quest, yeah. Alright. Yeah, if you guys want to read that, go ahead and pause the video here and read away. It's very nice. Okay, last thing we're going to do, last thing we need to do before we wrap it up, is we have some rewards to collect from the, I think it's Patron's Whisper, or something like that. I don't know why it always slips my mind. Probably because I click through it I tap through it too quickly, but try to get it to memory this time. Let's see.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back so soon.
Yeah, Patron's Whisper.
Your benefactors are a generous lot.
Alright, so we have our new one at 1120, our next one's at 1360. So, newfound purpose, since I can remember. I have served none but myself, turned my back on the world for a handful of silks and a heavy purse. But where has that left me? It is hard to keep joy in one's heart when all those around you are without. Something must change, and that change must start with me, a lonely porter. We get no risk, no reward orchestra roll, and an amber.
You earned this.
Very nice. Like I said, our next one is at 1360, and we get something called the Talisman of Priming, which I believe will have something to do with our limit break. And then we won't know anything else until we get to 1550, so that's a ways.
All done?
But anyway, like I said, I do believe we are going to wrap it up here. In the next episode, we are going to actually commence the Cloak and Dagger quest line to really go into it. We're in Tabor, we'll be meeting up with Joshua's aide and seeing where the story takes us. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button down below and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date for whenever new content is posted. And please don't forget to let me know your thoughts about the episode in the comment section down below. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And I will see you all next time.